When the heart can still be touched by the gaze of a baby, nothing is lost. Not far from here in occupied Amsterdam in 1943, a member of the Gestapo looked at me, a baby 3 months old, and said, "What a pity that this is a Jewish child." My father retorted, "Happy should he be, because whatever will happen, he will never be a son of murderers." He shouted and screamed, but said, "We come back tomorrow." There were tears in his eyes, my father told me, and those tears saved our lives. And then a door was opened by a German-born woman who opened the door from this baby, despite the risk of life. And my life has been to integrate this lesson into my life and the life of my wife, who is also a baby who has been in 7 different families. And the chances, Dimitri, of us ever becoming grandparents were 0. But we became grandparents with grandchildren happily and dancing around us because of the forces of compassion. And I tell you, Dimitri, the soft forces of compassion will triumph, because a universal partnership beyond frontiers, binding generations, is arising. And we, when we work together, your dream, Dimitri, is therefore so important to me, because I did not inherit to you a world of great beauty, but with your dream, we will make this world whole, and our compassion will be unstoppable.
Thank you so much. The experience that you had as a little boy is a common lesson to all of us today. It seems that we all understand and we all recognize the value of life and peace and human dignity. However, I come from a country that is only 2 countries away from the Netherlands. And this is the country that yet to discover what human rights are, what democracy is. It is Belarus, the country that is yet to discover the freedom of speech. We talked a lot today about businesses becoming responsible, young people being consumers, getting in touch with businesses. But my dream is really basic. I dream that people in Belarus, in places like Belarus all over the world, will be able to speak freely and not being afraid that when they go down the stage, they will be jailed or punished. And this is my dream, and especially concerns young people who have so much to say. And hopefully next ceremony that we'll organize, and people will not only be sharing the dreams, but also their experiences. I'll pass this credit to you.
And my advice to your generation, Dimitri, is to keep dreaming, because it's only dreamers that change the quality of human life. And the only other lesson that I've learned in my lifetime is to walk the talk. We are leaving a world for you and your generation which is full of principles, which is full of treaties, which is full of national legislation for sustainable development. But the only thing that needs to be done by your generation is to implement, is to enforce, and to walk the talk. 2, 3. I give this feather to you, and I want you to share what your vision for the future is.
Thank you very much, my great teacher. And I realized that we are all here. We are all get connected each other. And I realized that we are here not just transferring dream, but we are also transferring our future. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to say my vision or my hope in the future is when I open my eyes in the morning, I realize that we are all in the middle of balanced community that respect each other, respect nature, and also respect and care for life. And I hope there will be more people know and aware that our future is not just tomorrow, but our future is what we are doing today. So I will give to Pauline. So, what is your life vision? Want to share?
42 years ago, I had a child in a pushchair in a little country town, and I was passing by to post a letter next to a courthouse, and there stood a young man like my girl. He was very sad, and then I heard that he was going to prison. He was an indigenous young boy who didn't realise that when he went to get something next door, he had to ask permission. He went to borrow something. He went to court. He went to jail. And I thought, how sad. And his mother and his family were very, very upset. Indigenous peoples had never had this thought that you had to ask somebody if you could borrow something. Because when you borrowed something, you returned it with something else as well. So, a few of us mothers, we got together and we started to cook a meal. And we went to the prison officer and we said, we have brought kai. We have brought food to share with our young people in the prisons. He said, go behind the shed because you're not supposed to be here with that sort of thing. That was my introduction to looking at why our prisons are full of young people, especially indigenous tribal peoples around the world. Because they didn't have the same thinking of cultural norms that you've got to do and haven't got to do. 42 years later, unfortunately, I'm still seeing them in the prison. But one of the beautiful things is new ways have come about that we can bring restorative justice to young men to face the people that they have harmed or come across and bring them together face to face to say, this is the person you have harmed. And then there is forgiveness brought together. So in giving you this feather Miguel, I see the success and the beauty of young men. Go forth in peace. And I will sing you now.
Well, it's my honor to conclude this ceremony, and I would like to do so by pointing out that just today, as we launched the trailer that was specifically produced for this event with generous support from NCDO, that we also launched just today a website. It's called featherproject.org, and I invite everyone, especially the young people here, to create their own feather videos. I think when we are able to imagine a better future and world for every one of us, we actually can tap into this immense resource of human imagination and creativity. And when that is done, I think a lot is possible.